Well, hey folks, thanks for joining us today. Welcome to the Cyber Spotlight, the people behind security. Today I'm joined by Caleb Shortt with two T's. He's a third-party test engineer at Sophos, which is a UK-based security company, formerly the MISO, the Ministry Information Security Officer at a BC government agency. So thanks for joining us today, Caleb.
Glad to be here.
So for the audience, who are you, where do you live, and what got you into the cybersecurity field?
Well, I'm Caleb Shortt. I've kind of always been a little bit interested in security. I moved to BC quite a while ago, so I've been here for almost 20 years. What got me into security was really gaming, modding games at quite an early age. I kind of took to that quickly, and bypassing my BIOS password that my parents used to always put on there because you're gaming too much. And then that kind of planted the seed, and it just kind of grew from there until eventually I went to university and took every security course I could take and went from there.
Amazing. Probably not the only person who's gotten into cybersecurity through some form of gaming. If you had to explain your job to somebody in an elevator, they were maybe asking you what you did, what would you say? And you only had like 30 seconds.
That's with the previous job, it would be I kind of run the security operations for the agency. Had a small team that would do all that, so like security assessments and things. At the new job, I help with testing security products. So if I look to ID and fix any sort of bypasses for, say, antivirus or a firewall or things like that.
Fair enough. And so at Sophos, the business side of the house, what would you say maybe the biggest misconception that they have about your role on the security testing side of things?
Well, I'd say it's a little cliche, but the misconception around it just being a checkbox and trying to get those things done, or you're the classic blocker, you're trying to make walls for progress. That usually pops up a little bit. You're the classic no guy a lot.
You're like, man, I'm a lot more exciting than that. I'm not just a no guy.
Yeah, exactly.
What advice would you give to someone who's looking to get into your line of work or into your job?
I'd say the soft skills are just as important as the technical skills. If you're talking to an executive or just to a coworker, you need to make them understand why something is important, not just that it is important, and that the technical support there is part of that, but they need to understand it and believe it just as well as you do. I'd say that's kind of a big one.
Right. So like being able to communicate the value or the reason, the business reason why you're doing something.
Exactly.
Yeah, makes sense. Plurilock's an identity-centric company. How does identity play into your view or vision of cybersecurity in general?
Well, I'd say security-wise, it kind of everything hinges on it. It's a precondition. You enter your username and offer a password, and that username is the identity claim, and that password is proving that identity claim. And I don't think zero trust or anything like that is going to change that. It still relies heavily on identity. So I think it's here to stay. So it'll always play a key role in doing that.
So in the news, obviously, it seems to be, unfortunately, there's more and more headlines about cybersecurity issues. A recent one that we've all heard about is the SolarWinds attack, the supply chain attack. Wonder if you have any insights onto kind of what happened there and why it's important and why it seems to have affected so many other companies and businesses and governments around the world.
Well, it was definitely widespread. They were a big company, and this is kind of one of those things where they were top tier. They were really good at what they did, and that's why they were targeted. You have these organizations that have such a wide range of customers and so many customers that when they become a target, and especially by attacking certain parts, in this case, the update mechanism for that product, your customers trust that path through. And so it's actually quite a desired attack vector for attackers is to find those trusted paths and exploit them. There's usually no checks. So this was a good example of that.
Right. Yeah. So you can really see, and from the damage from upstream, if it goes upstream, then everything below that can be, quite affected, obviously.
Exactly.
That makes sense. And how do you think an attack like this affects like the future going forward for either companies that sit in that role, or just every business who might attach themselves to that type of service?
Well, I definitely think orgs will be looking more into the the upgrading mechanisms of the tools they use. But so will attackers, because this is a proof of concept for them too. This showed how well it works. So it's a bit back to that cat and mouse game. It's the classic game of security.
Yeah, that makes sense. I like how you said the cat and the mouse. That explains it well, I think. So to wrap up here, we got quick-fire DTA. As you probably know, security people love acronyms, it seems. So this is define the acronym. So we got 5 questions here. We're going to see how well you can do out of the 5. Are you ready for it?
Let's do it.
Okay, start you off easy, I think. MSSP.
Oh, managed services system security provider, something like that.
I'll give you a half mark on that. Managed security services provider.
Oh, I got them backwards.
Yep, definitely got the idea there. EDR.
Endpoint detection response.
Perfect. DDoS.
Distributed denial of service.
That's right. 2.5 out of 3 so far. That's good. CISSP.
Certified information security system security professional.
That is right. Yeah, you got it. That's perfect. So 3.5 out of 4. Amazing. Last one, CERT. Or CERT.
Computer. Oh, incident response team. What's the E? Emergency response team.
That's right. He's got it. Caleb Shortt, 4.5 out of 5. Pretty good. Good on you, Caleb. Well, thanks for joining us. Where can people find you online or get connected with you if they want to?
Oh, I'm on Twitter at Caleb Shortt, CalebShortt.
Okay, well, thanks for coming on the show today. This has been Cyber Spotlight with Caleb Shortt. We'll see you guys next time on the show. Thanks, Caleb.